My name is Nash, Richard Nash, but kind friends have called me Beau Nash, which, to translate from the French, simply means handsome. Now, I'll be pleased to be your guide to the wells in the year of our Lord 1740, under the reign of our good King George II. This, I am glad to say, is an age of elegance and wit, at least among people of quality, which your very presence here announces you to be. Now, to introduce you to the wells, you should look at the panel on your left, which shows the wells before the discovery of the springs. They were discovered by Lord North in 1606, and he at once recognized their health-giving properties. The other portrait is that of Henrietta Maria, the beloved wife of King Charles I. She came here in 1630 to recover from the birth of her son, the future Charles II. He visited the wells in 1663 with his wife Queen Catherine, although he was also at pains to ensure that a certain Lady Frances Stuart was included in the party. His wife Catherine, whose portrait is beside him, came to take the waters as a cure for her infertility. Sadly, she remained infertile, but several of her ladies-in-waiting returned to London pregnant. Whether this was due to the effects of the waters or the presence of fashionable young men on warm evenings, history does not record. Now turn around, and you'll find on your right a panel with some of the famous people who have visited the wells before you. It will not be difficult to identify Nell Gwyn, the orange seller, who was also a mistress of King Charles. Further along the wall is a portrait of Daniel Defoe, author of Robinson Crusoe, who had said of the wells, "It is a place in which a lady, however virtuous, may as soon shipwreck her character as in any part of England." On the opposite wall are portraits of visitors from later periods, when I myself had been installed as Master of Ceremonies here. And the organizers of this exhibition have been so kind as to place my portrait on the wall. Previous to my making the wells a general rendezvous of gaiety and politeness, the controller here had been I could not say a lady, a person called Belle Causey, who had been a promoter of friendships for orange girls in Hyde Park. Since Nellie Gwyn had also been an orange seller, there is clearly something about the fruit. I must confess, whatever it is, it's always eluded me. Belle Causey was so good as to die in 1735, and after my signal achievements at Bath, I was immediately appointed to bring tone and quality to Tunbridge Wells. The drawing of the wells in 1718 gives you a good view of the pantiles. When Queen Anne came here in 1698, her young son fell over on the rough walks, and she gave £100 to have them paved. 2 years later, nothing had been done, and she appointed a superintendent to construct what we today call the pantiles. However, the original tiles have now, I am told, been replaced. Poor Queen, she never returned, and her tumbling prince, like all her 17 children, died in childhood. Now you may examine the glass cases in the centre of the room. The first has a lady's gown and a gentleman's suit of the period. The ladies may find the quantity and quality of the hand-stitching interesting. I'm told it's very fine. The large tubular wind instrument is called a serpent, and provided a rousing bass in church bands. The snuff boxes are curiosities, and though fine enough, none are as fine as those in my personal collection, all of which were presented to me personally by royalty for services rendered, both here and in Bath. At the bottom of the case you will find one of the last remaining pantiles for which good Queen Anne paid her £100. The other case contains a sedan chair, in which you would have been carried by 2 chairmen if you were, and I am sure you are, a person of fashion.